every one of us here in this room today, whether you're 25 or 55 like me, has worked in the information age for your entire career. The first computers started appearing about 70 years ago. But what's happening with artificial intelligence at the moment makes everything that's happened in technology before simply the overture before the symphony begins. We ain't seen nothing yet, because what's happening at the moment with artificial intelligence is going to change every aspect of every business operating everywhere in the world. And some of you may have come across, and some of you may be using in your retail work, the whole notion of bots, chat bots, natural language processing, voice-driven artificial intelligence, which I believe is going to change every aspect of retail in the future. A human being beaten by a machine playing the game of Go, the Chinese game of Go, which is the most complicated board game known to man, more complicated than chess. This happened about 2 years ago. Anyone familiar with this story? This is the best player in South Korea of this game of Go, and he was beaten by software written by a company called DeepMind, which is now part of Google. And the software took a few months to learn how to play the game, and this was the world's best human player of Go, and he lost to the machine. Machines are doing more and more, becoming more and more intelligent, and going to find their way into every aspect of retailing, of banking, insurance, every aspect of business in the next few years. If there's one thing you should remember from my presentation today, it's this slide here, X plus AI. This is the formula for success in business in the 21st century. Take whatever it is you do, X, in your case, retailing, and add AI to it. X plus AI is the algorithm for the future of work. Now we're increasingly working in spaces like this. We're transitioning away from cubicles and we're working on couches. Again, this is a huge change. The world of work is changing, driven by this next generation of technology that you can see in the conference here today. And big companies, again, are finding ways to change themselves. The digital transformation that a lot of people have sort of talked about, but wondered if it was really going to happen, is very, very real. General Electric, again, one of the biggest companies in the world, has moved recently from the suburbs of Connecticut, just outside of New York, out in the suburbs in an office park with lots of those cubicles that I just showed. They've moved their headquarters into downtown Boston because they need to get the next generation of skill and talent, people who know what this new future of work environment is like. And those people are not living out in the suburbs. They're living in cities like Boston, like Sao Paulo. So again, the world of work is changing. How we dress, how we work physically, where we do the work, and the world of retailing is changing as well. And here's the key word for you at a conference all about retailing, about selling to consumers. This word beauty. This is a very strange word for us to talk about at a conference, for a businessman, a middle-aged businessman in a suit to talk about. But it's beauty that's changing the world of retail, changing the world of work. Because that is beautiful. The physical device, the virtual device is beautiful. The beauty that Apple have injected into big business has made it the most successful company in the history of mankind. This is what we are competing against in every aspect of business that we do, including retail in Brazil. You know, and I know, and lots of people around the world know, that beauty is very unevenly distributed. Beauty is quite rare. These things are not beautiful. Lining up to get your driving license, lining up in the airport in this terrible environment, physical devices, heating devices like a thermostat, not beautiful, ugly. And then lots of stores. In contrast with Apple in Grand Central, these malls, many of which you have here, many of which we have in America, in England, are ugly, and they're falling behind. The businesses, the retailers who have that type of experience are falling behind. You know this. You see this every day. Sears, a huge retail dominant supplier from a generation ago, has fallen behind because its environment is ugly. In software, this is true as well. We know that a lot of the software that we use day to day, that your employees use, that your customers use, is ugly. This is the sort of stuff that we have to put up with, and it's awful, and no wonder people hate it. Just to show you that I like to offend everybody in the room, including Cognizant. This image at the bottom left here is Cognizant's expense management software system. It's the most ugly piece of software known to mankind. And people don't like using it. I have to use it a lot, but people don't like to use it. We've got to get rid of this stuff. We've got to blow this stuff up and create beauty in the things that we do. Because we know that things sucking is the real mother of invention. And there is a lot in the world, including in retail, that sucks. And now we have this new objective, this new goal, this new North Star of what Sir Johnny Ive in Apple has created to make Apple the most successful company in the history of mankind. So here's the conclusion, in a way, of this logic, that the future of work is really based on making things suck less. Your objective, your goal, is to make things suck less, is to make things beautiful. If you can make the consumer retail experience beautiful, then people will gravitate towards that, because people always gravitate towards beauty. Lots of people now want to stop this digital transformation. They want to smash these new machines because they can see that perhaps their livelihood, their job, their way of living is going to go away. But we're more optimistic than some of the negative folks in the market around the world are at the moment, because we think that AI is creating a huge wave of new opportunity and new jobs that in the next 5 or 10 years is going to create incredible opportunity in Sao Paulo, in Brazil, in America, in England, where I'm from, all around the world. And I don't have very much time to go into all of this, but I'll just share one thought from these areas that my group, the Center for the Future of Work, has written about extensively, which you can find up on our website, futureofwork.com. And I'm going to talk about this virtual and augmented reality, because this is very, very important in the world of retailing in the next few years. And some of you may have seen Pokemon Go a year or so ago, your kids playing this, and thought to yourselves, oh my God, what is my kid doing? This is crazy, this is ridiculous, this is stupid. But cloud computing, which has changed every aspect of the businesses you work in, that was stupid 20 years ago. I started writing about cloud computing 20 years ago, and people used to look at the cloud in the same way they're looking at virtual reality now. And I'm here to tell you that virtual reality is much, much bigger than the cloud. It's a much, much more important dynamic. Driven by artificial intelligence is a much, much bigger deal. You must explore and innovate and create presence within virtual reality environments to retail, to sell, because that's where the world is going. That's where the future of work is going. I started by saying that the future of work algorithm, the recipe for the future of work was X plus AI, retailing plus AI. But I'll finish by talking about what this means to you individually, AI and you, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to us individually, up to us as leaders of big businesses to make sense of this and make this relevant within the organizations you all work for. We all know this story. In the last 100 years in the Western world, the farms have emptied out. 100 years ago, 70% of the population worked in farms to produce food. Nowadays, 2% of people work on farms, but yet we create more food than ever. We all know that story of the past. The same is going to happen again in the future. The cubicle farms that I mentioned earlier on, they are going to empty out as well. And we're going to have far less employment in the cubicle farms because the machines, the software, the robot is going to do that work. You're still going to process as many insurance claims as mortgages, handle as much retail transactions as you do today, but with far fewer people doing that. People are going to transition into these new jobs of the future, these new retail models of the future, where we sell in these new augmented reality spaces. So how do you beat the robots? How do your teams beat the robots? Well, it's simple in a way, difficult but simple, is don't be a bad robot. Because the real robots are showing up now, and they're going to be better than humans at being robots. The trick is to be a good human being, to focus on the things that only we humans can do. And in the world of retailing, you see this happening already. The unstore. Do you know this phrase, the unstore? You go in, again, into Apple, but there's lots of other examples of this around the world. Nobody's trying to sell to you in the Apple store. They're trying to be good humans. They're trying to be fun, engaging, cool. They're trying to teach you, trying to hang with you, trying to engage with you. Because they know that when they've done that, you're probably just going to go home on the way and buy the phone on your phone, or buy whatever it is on your phone on the way home after having hung out with those people in the physical space. The unstore, thank you, the unstore is the future of retail, and it's all based on the future of machine learning and AI. So don't fear AI if you're on the edges of this and scared by where this is going. Don't fear the AI and the machines showing up. Be an optimist, because you can't lead your businesses if you're scared, if you're worried, if you don't want to hang with this new technology and take advantage of it. You've got to engage, and that's the way to create the future of your work. I hope we get an opportunity to talk to you and help you and take you along this journey towards the future of your work. Thank you so much. And